Hi guys, happy Monday. Welcome to our team call. We are halfway through May. Actually, more than halfway. I think we are officially like on the outs for May, you guys, which is insane. But today is a huge day. Hello, Mixberry Energize. I hope you all attempted to make your order because I got in. I did it at like 4 p.m. Got my tub, so I'm excited. I've heard really good things about it, so make sure you guys are letting your teams know, and make sure you guys are trying that out. Even if you like not super excited, you guys, about the flavor, even though I'm hearing it's really good, you should get some at least for to give away. Let other people try it, all that jazz. So I'm excited. We have a guest speaker tonight, and I don't want to keep her waiting. I want to hear her story. So I'm just going to jump into a little bit of, actually real quick, because I see we have some new gals on the call, aka Lacey. Lacey, can you unmute yourself and just like say hi and
Hi
introduce yourself?
guys.
Those don't know you.
What'd you say?
Just like, where you're from, who you are, what you do, why you're here.
I'm Lacey. I recognize some of you guys from Instagram, but I'm from Rome, New York. I'm a pharmacist. I work at a hospital full time, and I tried coaching for a little while, and I just was not in the right headspace. So now I'm back to maybe try it again. So we'll see.
Yay!
I'm excited.
I'm so happy you're here, and don't feel bad about that. Timing is huge. So we will.
Yeah.
I'm
So
so
we'll
glad
see.
you're here. Okay. Yay. Sorry to put you on the spot.
No worries.
Um, so let me share my screen. I just want to run through some announcements with you guys. So like I said, I already mentioned the Energize, but guys, $20 off challenge packs. It's insane. I mean, I'm still following up. Like, my main job every day is just following up with as many people as I can. Going back to old conversations, checking back with people that have told me that money was an issue, all of the things. Like, I just am still trying to keep the hype up about this sale going on, because honestly, you guys, it is a huge deal. Every time they do this $20 off sale, off the $160 challenge packs, I feel like it's just a huge opportunity. I remember last June is when it happened. I think they did it last June, and that was one of my other, biggest months. So definitely take advantage of it, especially your new coaches. Like, we have 13 more days left in the month, plenty of time to make moves. Okay. I also just wanted to shout out because I believe Alex and Jordan and their team are officially halfway through their 6-week qual for One Star Diamond, which is insane. So that's super exciting for them. So you guys just keep cheering them on, and that's a huge freaking deal. And so they're halfway, they're already like almost to the home stretch. And I know they're working really hard to hold that. So make sure that you guys are just showing them some love, and I'm excited for them. And then I want to shout out people that have already hit Success Club this month. So we have an insane board. This is like the best board that we've had in a really long, like forever. Okay, I am so impressed with all of the lives that we have already changed. We're halfway through the month. Shannon, Jordan, Brenna, and Jessica, you all have, crossed over into Success Club. Let me read the chat. Okay, we have another, Shannon changed another life today. Oh my Lord. So this is obvious. This is up to date as of earlier this afternoon. So you guys keep it up. This is awesome. I'm so freaking pumped. Everyone that is on the right side, I know you're coming over to the left. And like I said, there's still plenty of time to do that. So now oh my God, I can't get rid of the chat. Okay, let me introduce our guest speaker tonight. You guys, I am like so freaking excited about this. Okay, so Paige McQuerter. Oh my God. Yeah.
McQuerter.
Okay. McQuerter. All
Yeah,
right.
sorry, I keep muting and unmuting.
It's okay. So I am so excited to have Paige speak to us tonight. So for those of you who don't know Paige, I'm just going to give you a little bit quick rundown. So Paige is a boss, okay? You guys, many of you have seen or known, if you've been a part of our team for a little while, all of our team swag, all of our team shirts, everything that I've ever like made and or given away has all come from Paige's Etsy shop. She owns PGB Apparel. She already is a business owner. That is, I want to say, I can't remember how I came across Paige, but I just remember you're the reason like why I listen. Oh my God, I forget the name of the podcast that I started listening to because of you. I used to stalk Paige. Long story short, as a new coach, I loved Paige. She is just like a no bullshit kind of person, very badass. And like I said, and this was pre Palmer, pre baby. I believe, and she was like a newlywed at the time, and I think like a newer coach. So as a newer coach, she was someone that I like just really looked up to. If you guys know Jamie Innes, I believe she is under Jamie Innes. This is downline, right? She is currently in 1-star calls, and was also a success starter. But beyond all that, why I'm really pumped for her to come on and share with us tonight is because, like I said, you see on this picture, she is a wife, she is a new mom, and she's also, like I said, that business owner, but she's also a freaking no bullshit coach. Okay. She has obviously been through a lot this last year, and we all have been going through a lot of change these last few months with everything that's going on. And she's going to share with us tonight about basically what it is that keeps her showing up. When I asked her to share what she was most passionate about, she immediately told me that it was her why. So I think that we all are going to just be able to take something away from this tonight, and I'm just excited to hear her story and let her share. And I'm going to stop rambling and let you take it away, Paige.
Okay, you guys, first of all, I'm so honored to be here. My service in this room, which is my office, is sketchy. If I start to cut out, just let me know. Can you all hear me okay? That's what I was worried about. Okay, you can see me good. I'm gonna just turn off my Facebook notifications so it's not constantly dinging. Pull back up Zoom. And I do have notes this time of night. How many of you, are you guys moms, or any of you, do you have children on this call? We just have one on the way. Oh my gosh. Okay, so exciting. So mom brain at this time of night is for real. Like, I am so much more productive in the AM hours early. But when you have a baby, which I'm going to talk about all of this, I'm going to introduce myself and all of that. But when you have a baby, like sometimes you have to work at night, like you guys are all working out, you might have full-time jobs. You just have to sacrifice some of that time. So first of all, thank you, Amy, for having me. I'm so honored. We've been trying to get this to happen. And now that I'm no longer breastfeeding, my schedule is so much more flexible. And I really am just excited to dig into everything. I have like 5 fun tips for you guys. And just to talk about like why and how I found my footwork in motherhood and running a business. So a little bit about me. I am 27, married, and have a 17-month-old named Palmer. She is awesome. But as we were talking before the call, very unexpected surprise pregnancy. I was not this person that dreamed of being a mom, definitely not a stay-at-home mom. My plan whenever I was pregnant was like, oh, I'm going to take 6 weeks maternity leave and go back to work at my parents' shop, and I'm going to run their business, and my mom's going to babysit, like, right? No, I am meant to be a full-time working from home mom with my baby all the time. But backstory, before I even got into coaching, you guys, I am a former, no joke, pack of cigarette a day smoker. I lived off of Taco Bell, drank Dr. Pepper like it was my job, the most insecure human being on the face of the planet, so rude because of my own insecurities. And finally, I just decided one day, like, I'm going to make a change. I'm so sick of being miserable in my own skin. I'm so sick of feeling like crap. Like, I'm watching people out in the world, no, not even coaches at this point yet, just like live this lifestyle that I wanted to live that, right? Like, I didn't want to be this, I don't know, just down in the dumps all the time, like just partying and hating on myself and smoker. Like, I just didn't want to be that. I'm like, that is so gross. Like, I'm better than that. So I just made a choice one day, right? Like, we've all made some sort of choice to get us to where we're at tonight on this team call, plugged into this team. in this community. And we all made a choice to get here. So insert yoga studio, I started taking yoga classes. I bought a gym membership. I started going to the gym. And then all of these like positive changes started this ripple effect, which is what led me to start PGP Apparel. And starting PGP Apparel is really kind of how I got here, because I connected with my upline, Jamie Ennis, on some team apparel and like a collaboration. And so I then started following her, started watching her. What is this coaching? But truth be told, I had this massive ego towards Beachbody. I went to the gym. I did not need at-home workouts. I'm like, what a joke, right? Okay, what a joke. I'm in the best shape of my life ever postpartum from working out at home. You probably couldn't pay me enough to step back like into a gym. It's just not my atmosphere. But I was judgmental and I was just fearful of all things that came with, you know, being a part of this community. So I followed and watched from the sidelines. But like Amy was saying, like before we like jump in, or as new coaches, we stalk other coaches. And that's exactly what I was doing with my upline. I was just watching. Well, then she did Shift Shop, test group. Have anybody done Shift Shop in here? Okay, it's like my OG program. It was the first program I ever did, got amazing results. So it was a month before our wedding. Max and I are engaged, we're gonna get married. And I was going to the gym, doing my thing, right? Like, but just plateauing out, like not making progress. I'm like, dude, I wanna feel good on my honeymoon. Like I need to get it together. Watching my coach, she's slaying her postpartum journey, amazing results. And so I'm like, forget it. Sign me up. It's 21 days. Like the worst case is I lose $160. Like, but if she can do this from home, surely in 30 days, like I can do this. If she can do it, I can do it. And that's kind of always been my mentality. And so I signed up a month before my wedding. You would think worst possible timing, you guys, worst possible timing. I have no extra time. I'm planning a wedding. I'm dealing with all the family drama that comes with the wedding. Like it's just not a great time to start something new, but I did. And honestly, it was exactly what I needed. And so while I started Shift Shop, I'm like, go ahead, plug me into your coaching mentorship or whatever that is, right? I decided you're not going to know what this can do for your life. Same with the program, unless you go all into it. So I'm like, plug me in. I'm going all in. I was coachable. Hit Success Club right out of the gate, right? Hit Success Club month 2, hit Success Club month 3, Success Starter. And then I pushed on and I hit Diamond in roughly 4 months. And so here's where things start to get a little bit tricky and where my story, a lot of changes started happening. So my first goal when I signed up as a coach is I wanted to be a Success Starter. I wanted to hit Diamond, and I wanted to end up at Jamie's leadership retreat because I'd always seen her sharing about these retreats, right? So I earned my spot there. Well, I'm a Diamond coach. I've got, 4, 5, 6 emeralds. I have a couple of controlled accounts. My mom signed up, Max has signed up, they're emeralds, and I'm pushing. We have quite a few elite points, and like the momentum is there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like in my first year and a half as a coach, I'm going to be an elite team. Like I'm going to lead us to this finish line. Like we're going to do this. I have these amazing girls. Like we're all working, we're changing lives, we're helping people. And everything came crashing down because I got pregnant unexpectedly. It was not in the cards. It was not in the plan. I was working from home full time, running my PGP apparel business, which you guys can see like all this stuff behind me. I was a new coach. I had this momentum. I was like, this is where I belong. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do. Bam, pregnancy test. I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I continue on, right? Like you guys, Amy, like the way that she leads and has a baby on the way is insane. It's so inspiring to me because I wish that I would have, and I don't regret, because I don't want you guys to get, if you're at a place where you feel like there are some things you could have done differently or done a little bit more of or better, don't look back and regret decisions that you have made or haven't made. Just keep moving forward. But looking back, I do think and know now, like it was possible for me to keep the momentum, even being pregnant. But I like went into shock, right? And it's not that I wasn't excited or happy or didn't love my baby, but like this just wasn't in the plan. So I was still sharing, and that's one thing, like I never went away on social media. So even though I wasn't really like working the business as hard and fast as I was still showing up. I love all things Beachbody. I love all of our products. And so I was showing up, I was sharing, had this fit pregnancy. I'm working out every day, and I'm building those connections, but my team just came crashing down. And I don't know if it's because I pulled out a little bit or if those just weren't my people, but like right now you guys, I'm in 1-star quals and I'm rebuilding a whole new team, and we're going to get to that. The people that get you started, there will be some of them that are in this for life with you, but they're not all going to stick with you because some people, they're just playing a small part. And I have to realize that those girls that were with me at the beginning, like they were playing a part. And now, a lot of them are still in my challenge groups and they're just not working the business. And so fast forward, right? Like I give birth and I get cleared and I'm just kind of teetering and I feel, right? Like I feel a little bit like a failure almost like it's not for me. Like I screwed up, like I went away, you know, I'm not working the business. Like I have no credibility. And then I was like, you know what? No, like I'm going to show up. I've built so many, just sharing pregnancy. Amy can probably relate to this. Like you just build this community of motherhood and moms and pregnant women and people have questions. And I'm going to dig a little bit more into that as well. But I just decided just invite to this group. I had my baby in December. I was cleared in January. I'm like, perfect. New year. It's a new opportunity. I had missed Success Club like 2 months that whenever Palmer, I was like the end of my pregnancy. And I was kicking myself for that because like I'd hit Success Club every single month without missing a beat since I became a coach. And so I decided just invite, just share that you just want 3 girls. Like I'm talking like I was hitting Success Club 20. I'm inviting 3 women to join me in my first postpartum group because I was so nervous. Like I was another beginner coach. But the truth is I had all this momentum out of the gate at the very beginning that I had my sights set on elite from the get-go, right? So it was humbling for me to be like, okay, we're just going to start small. We're just going to try to hit SC6, help 3 women, maybe 3 new moms. We're going to do this together. And that was my goal moving forward for 2019. I had Palmer in 2018. The goal was Success Club every single month. There we go. Achieve that goal, right? And so I had to find my footwork in motherhood, and that just took time. It took patience. You guys probably hear this all the time, and I'm going to just dig a little bit deeper into it. Give yourself grace, okay? We hear that, but like, what does that mean? It's like, I can say and write this affirmation in my morning routine, give myself grace, but like, that quote doesn't mean anything really unless you actually do it, unless you actually make the conscious choice to give yourself grace. And so I'm an Enneagram 8, which I've just started learning about. I'm very like competitive. I'm very driven. I'm very goal oriented. I don't give myself a lot of slack if I miss something or fall short on something. And I really had to learn in motherhood, you have to give yourself grace. And you guys all have something different. And it might not be children, but it might be a job or another time commitment or your relationship or family drama or struggles. Like we all have a different part of our life that is going to take away or cause stress in some area or make some part of coaching a little bit more difficult. And so you have to truly give yourself grace and understand you're going to drop a ball a time or two. Okay. It's all right. Like you can't beat yourself up about it. You're going to feel unorganized at times, but there's always ways to improve and to learn and to grow. And it's a slow process. And the other thing is, don't compare your journey to anybody else's journey. So if I would have just stayed stuck on comparing where I was starting again from where I was starting the first time, I wouldn't even be here. Like I wouldn't even be in 1-star quals because I was going to be too like caught up in the fact that I was starting from ground 1 again, right? Like it's a slow process. Like growth is slow and you just have to be okay with that. And just remember that too. Like it's easy to look at people and think, and I can still do this, to look at people, it's so much easier. They have this, they have that, they have this, they have that. We all have different commitments and struggles and lives outside of coaching. So fast forward, you guys, Palmer, my daughter, is now 17 months old, and I finally feel with a lot of patience, a lot of grace, a lot of just dropping a few balls and learning the hard way, and then truly giving myself grace and trying not to put too much on my plate that I can't handle. I have found some footwork, and I feel like, okay, like I'm in this and I can do this. And now if I were to get pregnant again, I know that if I pull back, it's only going to have the negative effect that I want it to have. But if I lean in, and I'm going to get into like the actual tangible tips with you guys, but don't pull out. Like when life is hard or life slaps you in the face with something unexpected, you can pull back in other areas, like not focusing so much on creating a cute graphic that doesn't really matter, but don't pull back on like the stuff, like the meat and potatoes of what we do, and that's help people, like stay rooted in that. Okay, so I'm going to get into first, before I really dig into the why, a couple like very short 5 tips that I think are important that I really tried to focus on when I basically am in my rebuild phase. And it's to share more than Beachbody. So nobody gives a crap about a shake. Like nobody cares to show up every single day and come to your Instagram story and see Shakeology or Energize or this. Like those things need to be pieces to your story and who you are and intertwined with your life. People want to know you. They want to know, how are you funny? Like, do they relate to you? Or your humor, is it like their humor? your vulnerability, like how do you add value to them on social media? It doesn't have to be fitness or nutrition. Like my page primarily now is motherhood sprinkled in with, you know, fitness and coaching or whatever, but my target market is moms and moms that want to work from home with their babies, and new moms who want to start their postpartum journey. Share your marriage life if you're married, or your boyfriend or whatever, struggles, relationship dynamic, again, humor, similarities. Share these things that, and I have an example that's funny. Well, I think it's funny, and a lot of people on my Instagram thought it was funny, but the night before Thanksgiving, you know, like I'm like doing all this stuff and my husband is like vacuuming behind the fireplace. Like, I don't even know what he's doing. Like, nobody's going to see this. This is so pointless and doesn't matter. And I'm sharing that on my stories. And it's like, bam, like all this engagement, because guess how many husbands do like dumb shit like that? Like all of them, they all do things that just don't matter because they're men. And so I'm like sharing stuff like that on my social media. Share your pets. Do you guys have pets? How are they special to you? You know, they're your companion. Like, what kind of pet do you have? Shopping, like, do you do DIY stuff? If you do DIY stuff, you know, take people through that progress. Like, share more than your shape, okay? Be you. So something that I think that people get a little bit caught up in, at least my team, they're like, I just don't know how to show up on social media and just like be myself. Literally, this is how I explain it on my like coaching preview last week. Take this Band-Aid, this like imaginary Band-Aid, and rip it off. Like, nobody's opinion matters. Nobody's opinion but you. And so here is an example, and I'm sorry, but I do swear a lot. But the F word, I say fucking real life all the time. Okay, so if you come to my house, even in front of my kid, like you're gonna hear it at some point come out of my mouth. It's on my social media. And people can be surprised by that, but I never want to sign somebody up who's on my social media and then they get into my challenge group and I go live in my challenge group and I'm talking and fuck comes out of my mouth, right? It's like, oh my gosh, like they're going to be so taken back by that. But the fact is that they know that. So I'm being myself on my social media platform. I'm sharing, like I'm talking how I'm going to talk in real life. So nobody is surprised. Get results, like truly get results. I know that we hear this, right? Like, you guys know the vital behaviors, but be a product of the product. Like, get real results, show up, go hard, go all in a program, and have those progress photos to show for it. And not everything is a physical, you know, side-by-side photo that you need to have to share to like bring people in. But you know, mental results, and there's like the emotional results and all those that we can share about all the time too. But like, physical results speak volumes to your clients and potential clients. That's why people ultimately come to us, is they want to get help on their health and fitness journey. Time management. So especially as a mom, like I said before, if you don't have kids, it's okay, because we also have other time commitments. But like, I see Shannon, she's in the kitchen doing her thing and she's on a team call. She's like using her time really wisely right now. Power hours, you guys know about that. You know, being just like taking whatever small chunk of time you have, show up, but give yourself grace. So like, something today during nap time, my only focus during nap time was to prepare for this team call. Everything else after that was not on my radar, because I knew I had set amount of time. I didn't want to stress myself out. I didn't want to feel like I had, you know, dropped a ball somewhere else. It's like, set yourself up for success and be realistic about what you can handle on your plate. That was one of my biggest downfalls and one of my biggest weaknesses, is that I just couldn't say no. You know, I couldn't just like take a step back and not add 100 million things on my plate. I'm such a yes person. I'm like, I can do that. I can juggle this. Like, I'm juggling over here. I'm like burning food over here. Just be realistic. Okay. And then the last one before I dig into your why and where I'm going to want you guys to like write this down tonight, but pay attention to your clients and your working coaches. So something that a lot of my now team, they're my clients who I am paying really close attention to in my groups, you guys, and they are crushing it. They're showing up and they're cheering people on. They're adding value. This is something that I feel like we can get so caught up in wanting to recruit business builders. We want to recruit the people who want to build a business. But what about those those clients who maybe aren't even a coach yet? Or what about those discount coaches who don't even really, they're scared of the opportunity, they're fearful, right? But they're in those groups, like basically already being a coach. Pay close attention. It's easy once you run a challenge group every single month, right? Like, you run a group, you just kind of get into the habit where it's just running itself. Don't ever do that. Like, don't ever just let those groups run themselves. Pay close attention, be looking at who's doing what and when they're doing what and when they're showing up and their confidence. Like, if somebody's posting any part of their accountability on social media, you should be reaching out to them like, you need to be a coach on my team, because that is what we do. And then if you have a working coach, work with the working. It can be easy. And this was one of my downfalls at the very beginning of my journey before I basically had to rebuild and start all over, is I wanted it more than they wanted it. And you guys had to be honest with yourself, like, and I had to check myself frequently too, like, why do I want this? And that's what we're going to go into, right? Like, you can show up and be on this call, but like, be on this call because you want to learn something, you want to take away something, you want to be spending time with your team. Like, be here because you want to be here, because you want to grow your business. Don't be here just to check the box, because where is that getting us, you know? So work with the working. Do not drag people, you guys. You're going to exhaust yourself. You're going to waste all this energy where you're like, oh my gosh, but like, you would be a great coach. Like, come on, like, you're so close or whatever. Work with the people who are showing up and want it. Because there might be like a diamond in the rough, right? That you're just not paying attention to because you're so busy focusing on that person that's halfway to emerald, when you have a girl over here who could be emerald in 24 hours, but you're just not focused on that because you're focused on dragging someone. And if you have a leader, somebody that is showing up and proving to you like, hey, I want to do this, I want to run with you, I tell all my people, if you walk, I will walk beside you in fitness and in coaching, like in my challenge groups. Like, if you want to run and go all out, I'm going to go all out with you. I'll hold you accountable. I'll text you. I'll wake your ass up, like whatever you want me to do. But if you're just wanting to coast, I'm just going to coast with you. But you're going to have to check in with me and let me know like what you need. So people can't be forced to be ready, you guys. And that was something too, like I had to check myself on, like, I'm not going to be forced into this. This has to be something I want to do. And the reason why has to be so deep rooted and intertwined that it is going to literally like drag me out of bed every day when I'm so exhausted, running on no sleep from being up all night, because I want it because of XYZ. And so my why and why I want you guys to start writing this down. Think of what you want. And we have these like vision board parties, right? Like every team has a vision board party, and you like get these cute images on Pinterest and you put them all together in this collage, and then like you save it as your phone background or whatever. Like for me, it's my why is in here and in here. And like, I had to think about it. I had to think whenever I'm about to sit on the couch, you know, and Palmer goes down for a nap, I'm like, okay, I want to pay for Palmer to go to gymnastics, swim lessons, this. I want to buy her a prom dress that's $1,000 if she wants it because it makes her feel beautiful. I never want to stress about money in front of her. You know, like, are we going to come up with financial struggles at times? Absolutely. But my why is so deep rooted up here that I think about the day that we take Palmer to, you know, go get a prom dress, like years from now, like literally, like, I don't know, 17 years from now. But I think about that day, like, I just want to pay for it. I don't want her to ever look at me like, are you going to be able to make this work? Like, right, obviously the prom dress will be in reason. I hope within reason, I hope of a budget. Like, she doesn't need, you know, like $20,000 prom dress. But it's important to me that we're able to give her this because, so we're going to go even a little bit deeper than that, because when I grew up, I never went without ever. My parents always made sure I had everything I needed and more, but finances were always a struggle and a pain point for like my parents and their marriage. And I saw it. And I have adopted on some of those negative thinking habits and patterns when it comes to money. So where if Max is going to get like an energy drink at the store, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, but that's $2, and $2 every day adds up to this many dollars a week, and then this many dollars a month. And like that amount of money could go to diapers, right? Like that's how my brain works. But because I'm so rooted in my why, I'm like getting up off the couch at nap time. Like, you're going to go and you're going to go do a live in your challenge group or your team page. You're going to go do your invites, or you're going to go follow up on that poll that you didn't reach out to everybody yet. You said you were going to do it in the morning, and then baby life happened and mom life happened. So you're going to go do it now. What do you see your future looking like? Do you see yourself working at the same job you're working at now? For me, when I started PGP Apparel, I was working in finance full-time, 8 to 5, sitting at a desk all day. And I would literally look outside of the window across the hallway in a conference room, because I was in this tiny office without a window, like depressed every day, like on my keyboard, being an assistant. Like, I just want a job where I can just go outside whenever I want. Like, that's what I thought about. And I still think about it. Now I'm like so far from that job, right? I have a business and I'm a coach, but now it's like, I get to the sacrifices I make, you know, by like doing a team call at 7 p.m. instead of, which I'm Central Time, by the way, doing a call at 7 p.m. instead of just like watching Netflix or whatever. But this sacrifice of time now allows me tomorrow to wake up and go outside whenever I want to. Those are the little things that I think about. you know, you can't just go through the motions, you guys. Like when I say be here, I mean be here. And I know that some days that's easier said than done. Like there are days where we are just trying to check a box. Like we're having a rough day mentally or whatever. But I just really like anytime that I put the baby down for a nap and I have that power pocket, or anytime I'm about to just go sit on the couch because I'm so exhausted and just gassed from the day, at least the least I can do is come in and like do a brain dump list to set myself up for success the next morning. Why? Because I want to be able to go and buy her a prom dress. Why? Because I want a house that has a basement and a 3-car garage, and I want 4 to 5 bedrooms so we can have guests come and stay and they're not blowing up an air mattress and sleeping in my messy, disastrous office. Those are the things that I think about. And you guys have to dig deep in that. And like, I'm not like this vision board, like why, I don't know, like guru. I'm just telling you that unless you have something, and then I'm going to share about this documentary. I'm just going to kind of throw that in there that I've been watching with Max. You know, like people don't strive for greatness just because. People have something that has like changed or impacted their life in some way where striving for greatness is the only option. I've been watching bits and pieces of this docu-series of Michael Jordan and like the Bulls basketball. I'm not like super into sports, but my husband is. And watching Michael Jordan and other players like years ago, why they worked so hard, why they sacrificed so much, was not just to win like this fancy ring at the NBA championship. It was because their parents had died, and because this had affected them and this had affected them, and this, you know, person, whatever, like made fun of them when they were in school or whatever. Like they fought through, you know, like the muck and the mud constantly for a deep rooted reason, not just to say, just because I wanted to, you know, just because I felt like it. Like, just think about what you want your life to look like, and think about what you want to give your future families if that's in your plan, or think about what you want to give, you know, your animals. Even like, say you live in an apartment and you don't have a fence and you want your dog to have a yard to run around in, whatever it is, like dig deep into that and think about it. And whenever you're sitting there and you're about to make an excuse for yourself, and I don't see you guys doing that because you guys are all on team call right now, which is amazing. That shows all of you guys are here because you want this. Think about those things. Think about those little tiny things like, I want a 3-car garage one day, because showing up is going to get you one step closer to that. And so the last thing that people, I feel like, always leave out, you guys, have fun. When I started having fun with my groups, when I was getting creative in like my stories again, and not spending a lot of time creativity, because I think that Canva and these apps and stuff, like until you learn them, they can be a time sucker. But I'm not here to say, like, I think that TikTok is great. I listen to Gary Vee. I don't know if you guys do, but he's like, if you're not using TikTok, like you're failing at being any sort of entrepreneur. Like TikTok is the place to be. I didn't have a lot of patience for it at first, but once you take an hour or two, you can learn it pretty quickly. It's so fun. TikTok is like the #1 downloaded social media ever right now. So like, get on TikTok, do some silly videos, share it to your Instagram stories. Like everybody's doing it. It's a cool thing. You know, have fun, like get creative and do it in a way that doesn't take a lot of time. And then the other thing is, I had to refocus on not giving a F about what anybody thought of me, because once you pull back from social media, it can feel like you're ripping that Band-Aid off all over again to go live on your stories, to talk about this, to share your workout clips, whatever. Like truly, you just can't care what people think, because you will inspire one person, and maybe 2 people and 3 people. And based on your guys' Success Club board, you're inspiring a lot of people. So whenever I'm getting nervous to share something on stories, and like, I'm a pretty confident, outgoing person, and I don't really care what people think of me, but I do have those moments where I'm like, oh, okay, I feel like awkward, you know, whatever. It's like, no, just share it and just move on. Like, just move on. Because one person is going to relate to that, right? Like one person might see that, that might be exactly what they need to hear to get here. My Success Club numbers started to increase once I started having fun again, and like really leaning into my challenge groups and making it a fun place to be, creating this engagement within, you know, the community. And then my groups had higher engagement, which is always a plus. Like, you want your girls engaging with your girls and your challenge groups. My clients were getting better results. I've had 3 girls recently go through 80-day obsession. You know, your clients and your team, they want to do what you're doing. Like if you're showing up and doing 80-day obsession all out, they're going to want to jump on board with you. So you guys link arms and do that together, and build a really strong community, because that's where you're going to find those diamonds in the rough. You know, like, I know that you can hear, and there's a lot of trainings out there, and you know, recruiting business builders, but sometimes, like, And at least in my team, the girls who are making amazing coaches are the girls that have been there the whole time. It just took me looking and seeing that within them. The last thing, and then I'll open this up for questions if you guys want. Create some genuine friendships on social media. So I know that when you become a coach, it's like invite. You guys already know the vital behavior, so I don't need to go into any of that. But like, stop cold calling people at the end of the month because you're racing for Success Club. Like, set yourself up for success. Hit Success Club at the beginning of the month. Build real friendships. And how do you do that? You show up on social media and you be you. You share with people what you're doing and why. If they know your why and why you're here and why you're sharing this and why you're wanting a side hustle or a secondary income or whatever, they might relate to that. If you have, like we said, a boyfriend or marriage or dog or all those, like, those are the things that people relate to. Respond to every message. This is something else, a takeaway from Gary Vee. Like right now, unless we are like Khloe Kardashian, we do not have an excuse not to comment back or respond to every single DM. Like, I have a lot of DM requests. That's not usually my main priority. I try to like go through every day. I probably have like 25 messages in there. Some of them are spam, and some of them I'm like, oh gosh, I got to get back to that. But like, honestly, you guys, respond to everybody, because you never know that person on the other end who might even just comment back like a laughing emoji on your story. They might have been watching you for months and ready to take the leap. They just need you to extend that hand, like, hey, we can be friends. Like, I'm going to say, haha, like, it was so funny or whatever. Like, whatever the like response is, just make sure you respond to people and engage with people genuinely. Like, whenever I have built so many, and some of them are yet to be clients of mine, but I know that they will be. I know that they will be lifers on my team, because we have built such genuine connections on social media through motherhood and through challenges and through breastfeeding and through all these like crazy things that come with having a baby. And we've just chatted about it in our DMs. And I know that they know what I do, and I've told them about what I do. And then whenever it's time for them to take that leap, I know because I'm authentic with them, they're going to take the leap with me. They're not going to take the leap with somebody that they don't know on Instagram that's not responding to their messages. They're going to take the leap with their friend who they trust, right? Like, that's what we need to do, is we need to build trust. So you guys, you already know the vital behaviors. They're there for a reason. Like, the vital behaviors are vital for a reason. Do those. Be you. Find your balance in work and life and like everything you've got going on. And it's not going to look the same. I really do believe in my heart that we all have what it takes to have success, whatever success you want in this business. You might not want to be a top 10 coach. You might want to just be a 2-star diamond coach and open, a second business center and make some extra money and cap it there. Hopefully you guys are going to continuously dream bigger than that and want to go further than that and hit elite and beyond. But it might not be what's on your radar today. But as you hit this goal and hit that goal, your goals are going to keep, obviously growing. But we all have what it takes. It's just going to look a little bit different. And for me, it looked really strong one way coming out of the gate as a first-time coach. Like, all these things happened, right? And now it looks totally different for me moving forward. And I might have gotten to where I'm at today a lot slower, but I'm where I'm supposed to be for a reason. And I had to readjust, refocus, realign. And now I look at things completely different because I'm a mom. I am able to just empathize for other moms. Before, I would tell girls on my team who had kids, like, girl, just get up. Like, you're good. Just power hour, miracle morning. Have you met Mel Robbins, the 5-second rule? Now I'm like, right, okay. Like, no, you don't do anything you want to do. You do everything based on your kids and like what they do, because they're very unpredictable little human beings. And that is why I'm now a better coach than I was back then. I had strengths then, that I still have and possess today. But I have other strengths today because I was patient. I stayed the course. I did, the bare minimum at times when I was in the thick of that postpartum journey. But we're here, right? Like, we're all here. We all have what it takes. We all have a chance to change our life. And more importantly, we have a chance to change other people's lives. And so stay rooted in your why. If you don't have a why written out, or at least like seriously in your head, do it. Think of why you're here. My why back then was not Palmer, right? But that why probably wasn't strong enough to carry me through the highs and the lows of entrepreneurship. It was for PGP, but I built PGP on it's a totally different type of business. But now that I have Palmer, like, I can see so much more clearly the path that I need to take in coaching to hit the goals, to have the success that I want to have. So it's not going to look the same for you guys, but you guys can do it. I have faith in you. Your Success Club board was crazy, and you guys are all here on a Monday night and spending time together. And I just think that that's really important to know what kind of community you have and that you're a part of. And we need to share that with literally everyone. They need it. So if you guys want to ask any questions, I'm happy to answer whatever. Hopefully you guys took something from that. I just am like a babble mouth for real.
Oh my God, I loved it. Does anyone
good.
have any questions? You know how I feel, just unmute yourself. If not, I'm gonna just talk because I wanted to just immediately like touch on what you just said, because I feel like you're right, it doesn't matter if you have doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's you had a child, or maybe, you know, you, like you said, you started doing this and then something happened in your life and you fell off, and now you come back. Whatever hiccup comes up in your life, whatever hardship, whatever it is, it's happening for a reason. And and it does change your why. And I think, like, for me, I know, like, there's been so much shit that's happened, like, and the thing that you just have to keep choosing, or the thing that I think that's just changed me the most, is I agree, like, I still think that it wasn't that I was a bad coach, but what I had to choose to lean into those hard things, and choosing to lean into those hard things isn't easy. It's not, it doesn't feel good. It's like you're like you were talking about, like, you really had to kind of like it didn't feel good to not hit Success Club after, however many months, hitting diamond and coming right out the gate. Like, it doesn't feel good to go through that. But I think, like, again, I don't, and I'm sure even at that time, like, your why, I'm sure you still questioned it. I'm sure it, like, all was like up in the air for you. And I feel like that's a very normal thing. I think it's important for us to talk about how normal that is. Like, it's not normal to just be like, all right, shoot to the top. Okay. That's not realistic, right?
Well,
It's
because we're
normal.
ever changing, like, we're evolving, and we're going to go through different seasons of life. And, back as a newly married, working for myself full-time from home, I had all the time in the world to work on coaching, right? Like, I had all the time in the world to do, Success Club leaderboards and make pretty Canva images while, like, hitting high Success Club numbers. The minute that I got pregnant and my focus had to shift onto another human being, it changed, you guys. Like, and I was exhausted. I could barely even get myself out of bed sometimes. And so your priorities are going to change and shift through life. But like she just said, readjusting your why and your focus, and knowing, like, if you take a little bit different or you veer off path just a little bit, it doesn't mean that you've fallen off the course and that you just have to give up. I think that it's important too, like I tell my clients, is when we say, and this is another one of those like cliches, right? It's a lifestyle journey. But it truly is. Like, if you're going to get results like in 20 days and that's it, like, that's not sustainable in the long term, and in the 20 months, 20 years, whatever. And same thing with coaching. Like, you hear people, right? Like, the fastest coach on my team to ever hit this goal and this and that. And there is something exciting about that, but like, success is success, in my opinion. And if it takes you 10 years to get there and it took somebody else 10 months, you're still at the same finishing point, right? Like, the same finish line. So why does it really matter if it took you a little bit longer? That's not to say that you shouldn't have a like sense of urgency and like work hard to get there. But if it's taking you a little bit longer, you don't need to get discouraged on that because so-and-so on the team hit the goal first. Let it be like a healthy competitive, like, well, she can do it. Let me learn from her, right? We also hear that success leaves clues. So what was she doing? Can you reach out, ask, like, hey, how did you hit diamond? Do you have any feedback for me? And then take that and implement it. That's a big one. Like, we can be on all the team calls we want. We can share all the inspiration we want, but we have to implement things in a big way. For me, like, when I know I need to implement something, it's like, I need to launch this group and I need to go on my stories. I need to share it right now, because publicly putting it out there is going to hold me accountable to actually do it, because somebody, even if it's one person, is going to want information on it. If they want information on it, I'm going to have to make it look legit, right? So sometimes just acting on it, even when you don't fully have a plan, is really important. At least it is for me. And right now, like, I fly by the seat of my pants sometimes.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, what did he say? Tate said on the National Wake Up Call, like that. Oh my God, he had so many good points. But he brought up again, like, how this is a do and learn thing? What is it a do and learn thing? To be honest, it got me thinking about it because I was like, you know what? The best thing that has ever happened, best switch anything to ever hit me is just to go for it. Because and this is the thing, that the conversation that I have to have now with a lot of women is like, you see me 3 years in. You see me now, I'm a full-time coach. I'm not working as a nurse right now. I'm pregnant, I'm married. You're seeing me 3 years into my journey. This wasn't just like you said, I didn't envision this a year ago. Even I wasn't even prepared to be a mom. You know what I mean? It's this all has been a step-by-step do and learn as I go thing. And that's what I feel that's all you have to know. You don't have to know that you want to be a 15-star diamond, blah, 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 blah. But you do have to know that, okay, I want to go for this. I want to at least, it's steps. It's baby steps. Okay. All right. What's the first thing that I need to do to be successful? I need to go help 3 people. Okay. What's the next goal that I should push for? It should be this. All right. I want to start really paying off this debt this year. Okay. I should go for 2-star. It's a step-by-step thing. And that's literally what has, when I look at my own journey with this, it's literally that's how it's gone. It's not that I never knew all the answers, and I still don't. It's just being willing to not know, and also be willing to look a little stupid sometimes and feel a little uncomfortable, because that's for sure a part of it. We all felt stupid the first time we went on our stories. We all felt, uncomfortable and stupid the first time we shared a transformation post. Our first time we host a group, first time we go live, host our coach sneak peek, whatever it is, it's continuously being willing to up level, being willing to just take that next step. And it's not about knowing it. It's not about you're right. The best thing that has ever happened, probably it for me, throughout this pregnancy, is just I've had to, again, I'm not showing transformations, you know what I mean? In the way that we are used to. It's been completely humbling, and it's been a really big wake up call to exactly what you said, that it really is about relationships. And just, having fun and kind of really going back to basics, just like you said. If you're ever stuck, I feel the best thing that we can all do is just go back to the basics.
Amen. Just invite, just get people in a group, help people get results, be a project of the product with them. I mean, that's why they're the vital behaviors. And that's why the most successful coaches, that's what they tell you in any training. We can hear something, in every piece of every training I listen to, one part of it might strike a chord with me. And I'm like, yes, that. And I have a takeaway or whatever. But always, 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 the vital behaviors, just inviting, just getting people here with us, and figure out the rest along the way. It is totally humbling being pregnant and sharing. I would agree with you there, because we build a business off of fitness, right? And nutrition and all this. And when you're pregnant, but when you're connecting with your social media and your community, and that's another thing which I tell my team all the time. That's the topic that they ask all the time. How do you grow your social media? I have 3,000 followers or something. I don't care how many followers I have. It's important to me to get good engagement and all those things. Yeah, it is. And I'm constantly working on that, but I am not going to sit and worry so much about getting 10,000 followers that I forget about the 3,000 followers that I already have. Because I don't have 3,000 people signed up. So I still have a lot of girls and women I can help, or maybe men too, I don't know. But until I have every single, follower signed up, I'm not too worried about growing my social media more than what is just organically growing. There are just so many things that we can look at the most successful and envy that and wonder why them or how they get there. It's easier for them to hit Success Club because they have that many followers. It's easier for them because of this. We all started somewhere, truly. I know it's hard to look at the top 10 coaches and think they started somewhere. You're right. They did, right? They really truly did. They're learning as they go still. Put yourself in that category too. Nobody's out of your league. Have that confidence. Nobody's out of your league because they've been in this longer than you have. I will run with the best of them because I speak that belief into myself that I'm capable, I'm able, I'm worthy. Like I have a real chance at this too. And if they could get there, so could I, like speak and pour that belief into yourself, into your teams, into your clients, results wise as well. I know that what we do is like half coaching, half clients and results. But I speak that belief into my clients. Like you can have amazing results. If you want a 6-pack, go get them. Like the only person stopping you is you, like it is possible. It might take you longer, might take more sacrifice, whatever, but it is possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think another important thing, like, is just to recognize like your triggers, or establishing boundaries. Like you got to feel out where you got to feel out where it is that you're having the most like tension, like what's holding you back the most. And like, I know for me, one, it was comparison. So again, watching too many of those coaches and just, you guys, like, you don't need to, like, I don't need to know what Ashley Feldisen is doing. Like, I just don't. I don't need to know, like, I just don't need to watch these people. And I think giving myself permission to, be like, I don't know how to say this, but like to be a little bit out of the loop, like to not, know all the top coaches, to not, you pick and choose who inspires you. And if it feels good and they healthily inspire you, then, continuously like follow them and work with them. Collaborating has probably been the thing that's been the best thing for me. It's like, if someone inspires me, like, and I feel like they're on my level, or like I can relate to them, I'm going to reach out to them and I'm going to collaborate with them. And you know what it does? It humanizes them to me, because that's the other thing that I think that we don't do a lot is like, we put these people on a pedestal and we just watch them from afar, like we did before we ever started coaching. Guys, they're human. Okay. Like they poop, they like they're not perfect. Okay. Like, so that's probably like been the best thing, when, why I love like New Leadership Conference was like the best thing ever, because for someone like me, that my biggest struggle as a new coach, and I think we all struggle with this, was comparison and self-doubt and just being insecure. Going to events like that, you're finally able to see, oh my God, she's just like me. Like, why the hell not me? If she can do it, why can't I? And so it's like, you have to put your blinders on, but you have to feel out where your discomfort is coming from. Where do you keep tripping up? And like for me, it was that, and it was also just like not reestablishing boundaries as my life was changing. As your life is changing and as you go through these hard seasons, you guys, it is your duty for not only just your health and happiness, but also for your business to set new boundaries. Like for me, I had to give myself permission. Amy, you don't need to get up at 4 a.m. anymore. Like you don't need to get up at 5. Okay. If you want to get up and work from 7 to 8, and that will be your new boundaries, cool. Like, great. Like, set your new work pockets right now for this season of your life. And know that, when you do have a baby and all that stuff, that will change again. Same thing with all of you guys. It doesn't matter if again, like I know we're bringing up motherhood and all this stuff, but you guys, it was the same thing when I was working full time as a nurse and getting, planning a wedding and all this shit. And it was the same thing when I was married and then we were trying to buy a house and I was making that transition to part-time coach or, part-time nurse, full-time coach, blah, blah, blah. We all go through shit. Okay. We have to take our own ownership of what it is that we're going through. And it's just about making those tweaks. It's not about the goal changing. It's not about the vision changing. It's just about us being willing to make those necessary changes, Oh my God, I'm like sweating.
I love that. I wanted to just add on to that. Like, that is such a good point. I want to take that to my team because you hear it all the time. And like, part of me is very much like, no excuses mentality now, blah, blah. But like, the thing that humbled me and the thing that like let me know and gave myself permission to say like, it's okay if I have girls on my team. It's like they wake up at 4:30 on the dot every day. And part of me as their upline coach can feel like I should be up at 4:30 to lead the Zoom. I'm not going to be. I don't want to be up at 4:30. Like, I'm going to go to bed a little bit later and I'm going to sleep till 5:30, get my workout. And if Palmer's waking up at 7:30, I'm going to do my workout by 6:30. You want to get up at 4:30, that's fine. It doesn't, and you have to know, it doesn't make you more or less of anything if you choose not to. You know, I will say the top coach in the entire network, right, Ashley Molstad, she does not get up early and have a morning routine. Like, at all. If you follow her, you'll figure that out really quickly. Like, you don't have to do what somebody else tells you to do because it works for them. I just went live in my challenge group about this today, about nutrition. Because I eat this way and it works for me does not mean that you'll eat this way and it will work for you. Tailor your business, tailor these things to you, and show up and work hard. You know, like, yeah, there are sacrifices, but you guys be the judge of that. You know that sitting on the couch instead of getting on team call and binge watching Netflix isn't probably the right choice. But if, you know, once in 4 months you need to do that because you just need a mental check, girl, like, hello, that's where it's really give yourself some grace. You know, you don't owe anybody an explanation, but if you want to text them and be like, listen, I need a night, I'm having a day, like, I can't wait to watch the recording tomorrow, whatever. But like, make the sacrifice, show up, be present for your team. But if you truly do need to readjust your focus, like she just said, do it, and do it without guilt. Like, don't guilt yourself into anything. I love that point that you're like, I don't need to be waking up this early. That's me too. I'm like, I'm already like limited on sleep as it is. I'm not getting up at 4:30 because I feel like I got to start the Zoom and click one button that my other coach can click. I'll get on the Zoom whenever I'm ready to get up. But I had to be okay with that feeling okay, because I was like racing out of bed, you know, and feeling like rushed and feeling like, oh gosh, I'm like a shitty coach because I'm not up in the first one up. And if that works for them and that's what they think, and I shared something on my stories today, I'll pull it up really quick and then I will stop babbling. But it said 6 plus 3 equals 9, but so does 5 plus 4. The way that you do things isn't the only way to do things, right? Like, just because somebody else does something this way and this is their equation that gets them to that end goal, you're going to do it differently. And both work, right? Both equal 9 or whatever the number was. Like, it doesn't matter how we get there.
Oh my God, I love that.
Me too.
Yeah,
I screenshot it too. I'm like, save that forever.
Yes, because it was me. The thing is it was me comparing myself to my old self. Like, I was like, but I used to get up at 4:30 and I used to like crush my day. Like, why can't I do that anymore? And I legit, it was my mom that called me out. She's like, Amy, you like, because I was like, every time I talked to her, I would be like so stressed out. And it was like me stressing myself out because I was holding myself to some unrealistic standard that I had set for myself because I thought that was what like I needed to do. And so, yes, just know that, like, we all, like, this is going to come up. It's your ego. It's just normal. It's part of the process. And whether that's, you are comparing yourself to, the you that, maybe tried this before and quit, or maybe it was you, like you were saying, like you were crushing it before and then fell off. It's just like, you guys, you got to just like, you got to give yourself the grace, but really, truly, you got to just really, truly gut check yourself and understand that, like, everything she's saying, like 5 plus 4 still equals 9. Doesn't matter how you get there. Doesn't matter. Like, I'm going to work in pockets probably for the rest of my life, but maybe at some point I'm going to become a power hour person. Who the frick knows? But it doesn't matter how I get it done, as long as it works for me and it feels good and it's getting me closer to that vision. That's it. Oh my God, I feel like we could talk forever.
We could. We should let everybody go or something. I'm like, okay, it's 8 o'clock. Like, we're at an hour. I'm just like not going to start. I'm like, okay, guys. All right. So next point, go ahead and write this one down, because everything, you guys, this was really fun. And I love that I got to do this. And I love that was a really intimate team call. So just funny. The very first team call I ever spoken was my upline Jamie's call, which our calls every Monday night. It was right before this. It's like 400 people, and I spoke on one once as a new diamond coach, and there was like 250 people on. I could barely breathe. And so when I saw that this was like a more intimate call, I'm like, oh my gosh, we're just going to kick back, we're going to chat, we're going to have our water or wine or whatever we have, and it's going to be so fun. And it was, and way more relaxing. I thought I was going to have a panic attack all day. So nervous. told Max all day, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. And he's like, you're going to be fine. And so just being able to hang out with you guys, I can tell like you're my people. We're just hanging, relaxing. So thank you for having me. It was truly an honor and a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you, Paige. Oh my God, I loved it. Love
So
it,
awesome.
love it, love it.
Okay, guys,
All
I'll
right,
let you go. Have a happy Monday.
bye.